Yeah, we warn you about air quality after grass fires, explosions, or chemical leaks. But what you may not hear about is the dangerous air your child breathes every day, and you could be the reason. Fact Finder 12 investigator Devon explains. Devon?
Melissa, schools around Wichita have flags like this that show what the air quality is for the day, but your cars can have a big effect on air quality too. I found what's going into your kids' lungs and how one district is trying to avoid the dangerous air.
10-year-old Jocelyn's lungs haven't had the easiest time doing their job.
She's had childhood asthma since she was born, so it's something we always do watch anyway.
Her dad, Chris, says it's something they stay on top of. It's why he and other parents at Amelia Earhart Environmental Magnet School in Wichita do one simple thing when they pick up their kids: cut the engine.
Everybody, pretty much follows the rules. So in general, for us here, it's a good thing.
I think it's probably the best policy to have for, especially in elementary school.
This Chris.
Principal Chris Waterbury says it was an easy decision to make.
We were approached by a group from the University of Kansas and talking to us a little bit about having some idle-free zones. And I guess the idea actually spawned from some avid students at Truesdale Middle School.
I'm sure you've seen some of the signage.
Dr. Elizabeth Abla was part of that KU group and says her team worked with the city of Wichita to identify environmental problems. They narrowed those down to 19 issues.
The top concern around air was mobile source air emissions, and so that's why we decided to create this relationship with USD 259 so that we could have some sort of impact in the community around health.
So what's in these emissions? Several things: nitrogen oxide, volatile organic compounds or VOCs, and hundreds of tiny particles from unburned fuel, metal, and combustion. Together, those form ozone and particulate matter 2.5, both of which are dangerous to lungs, especially young lungs.
So if someone has bronchitis or asthma, this is going to very much exacerbate, especially the ozone will exacerbate those type of symptoms.
Abla says particulate matter 2.5 and ozone are the two largest pollutants in Wichita air, and car exhaust is heavily to blame. She says car emissions account for more than half of the nitrogen oxide in the air and 39% of the VOCs in the air. So how much damage can one vehicle have? We went to air quality specialist Randy Owen and tested our KWCH SUV.
People might be thinking, it's only one car, it's only whatever, it's only 1 gallon of gas they spilled on the ground. But when we're talking about such extremely small numbers, every single little bit helps.
Owen put the tester in our vehicle tailpipe, and I got in and pressed the gas. We first tested at 2,500 RPMs to mimic highway driving, and the numbers went up a little. Then we tested idling, and there wasn't much change.
Very, very little. The O2% is a little bit higher when it's idle, but we expect that it's still well within the safe range. CO2 up a little bit.
Meaning one SUV alone wouldn't do much harm, but
times 500 people at each school, after a while, it does make a difference.
Plus, these emissions are reaching your child twice a day. For an entire school year, each vehicle will emit roughly 1.32 pounds of NOx and 1.97 pounds of VOCs. To get an idea of how much that is, one vehicle's emissions for one school year is the same as burning 341 pounds of coal, or 13 propane tanks. To offset that pollution, you'd have to plant 8 trees and let them grow for 10 years. Wichita is hoping to never get to that point so kids like Jocelyn can breathe easy as they say hi or bye to mom and dad.
It's safe for everybody. It's good for teaching them that we don't need to have the cars running when we don't need to.
I reached out to other school districts about idle-free policies. They all tell me they don't have these rules because they have a different drop-off and pickup policy or because the issue just hasn't come up.